Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. We have quite a few people who are signing on right now. I just want to welcome everybody for being here and for joining us today. My name is Debbie Corwin. I'm the director of the Center for Israel Engagement at the Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey. For 21 seasons, Open Hearts, Open Homes, a Jewish Community Center of Northern New Jersey program, has brought more than 700 teenagers from the Gaza envelope, Sderot, neighboring kibbutzim and moshavim, to stay with families for a few weeks here in Northern New Jersey. This program even took place in Israel during COVID when traveling to the US wasn't really a viable option. Open Hearts, Open Homes is an incredibly special program that fosters strong relationships between the Israeli teens and their New Jersey families. And these bonds can really last a lifetime. I can personally attest to that because my husband and I hosted two 15-year-old boys this past summer from Kibbutz Sderot. In fact, one of our guests today even slept over our house one night, and that was a true joy and a pleasure. It's really an experience that we will never forget, and we look forward to continuing our relationship, and I look forward to being in Israel very soon to see everyone. Elana Prezant supervised the Open Hearts, Open Homes program for the past 8 years. And a few weeks ago, she told me that a few of the teens who shared personal stories with her are now ready to really share it with the greater community. Elana currently oversees Heart to Heart, a program at the Kalpen JCC on the Palisades that began as a result of October 7th and has transitioned into a center for volunteerism. It is with great pleasure I'd like to welcome my very dear friend, Elana Prezant.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Jewish Federation, for putting this webinar together and allowing these wonderful teens to tell their stories. Having been the supervisor of Open Hearts, Open Homes through the JCC of Northern New Jersey for all those years, I had the privilege to meet many Israeli teens and their families who live in the south of Israel on the border with Gaza. This area, less than 5 miles from the Gaza border, is called the Gaza envelope. The idea of this webinar, as Debbie had said, came about from conversation I have had with many of the past participants of Open Hearts, Open Homes on October 7th and since. As time passed, I realized that some of them were able to talk about what they went through and are continuing to go through, and they wanted people outside of Israel to understand what life is like for them. Today, you will hear from 3 extraordinary teens. Hila and Rome had come to New Jersey in the summer of 2022 with Open Hearts, Open Homes. Alon was in our community this past summer, 2023. Each one has their own experience from that awful Shabbat, and we will hear from each one. We will start with each one telling their story of October 7th while they were in their homes and for the immediate time after. After that, I will ask them some questions to have a deeper understanding of what their journey has been like these past 4 months and where they are right now. Feel free to write questions in the chat, and Debbie and I will ask them of Hila, Rom, and Alon. With that, I would like to introduce our first of 3 teens, Hila. Hila is in 11th grade and is an excellent student at the Regional High School of Shar HaNegev. Hila, while I fix the light in my room, I'm going to let you talk about what happened to you, what you went through on October 7th, and how you eventually left your kibbutz. Go ahead, Hila.
Hi, I'm Hila. I live in Kibbutz Erez, which is 900 meters from the border with Gaza. On October 7th, I was alone in my house with my younger sister. She's 1 year younger than me, and she took part in the Open Hearts, Open Homes with Alon this past summer. Then I woke up 6:30 to the sounds of alarms and of very strange explosions. Like I never heard anything like that, and I live in the kibbutz for 16 years now. Then I went outside, I looked outside, and I remember thinking to myself, okay, this is something worse than anything I've ever been through here, and I need to figure out what should I do because I'm not with my dad or anything older than 16 years old in my house. I went to my sister's room, which is the bomb shelter, the mamad, and I woke her up. She was asleep, obviously, and I closed the room completely, and I called my dad. I asked him what's going on. He told me go outside, lock the doors, close the windows, turn off the lights, stay in the mamad with Shira, my sister, and be quiet. Then I started to panic. I was like, are you kidding me? And like, what's going on here? He was in another kibbutz, right next to the Gaza border as well, but not in our home. So I closed the windows and I called my older sister and I told her, listen, I need you to send someone here right away because I'm useless. Like in this situation, I can't do anything against the terrorists. I saw that TV, I saw they're already in Sderot, and I figured, okay, they can't just pass across our kibbutz like without trying to even come in. Then she told me, listen, I'm gonna try to send someone to you, and don't worry, our cousin is right in the next apartment and is armed. Then I started to really panic because I knew that no one is going to come soon. I told my sister, listen, we're probably going to die here. We have nothing to do. We can just stay quiet and we're not gonna get out of here. Then I started to hear some strange noises from my window, like they're throwing tiny stones on their window. And I was like, what is that? Did they brought tiny stones and they're throwing on their window? Something was off. Then I called my older sister again. I told her, listen, they're here. They're going to kill us. I have nothing to do against them. Please, please, please send somebody here right now. I didn't know what's going on in the kibbutz. I was sure that it's full with terrorists, like that they're in the houses and I'm next. And I have nothing to do. And my sister dealt with it completely differently. She was asleep. She was in her own world, which stressed me out even more. I was sure I'm crazy. Then someone came and they told us there is no one there, but I kept hearing those noises all the time. Then I was sure we have this hole in our mamad to let air like run in the mamad because it's supposed to be closed all over. Then I was sure that they're gonna put their gun there and to shoot us from there. Then I told my sister, listen, get as far as you can from that hole because they're gonna shoot us from there. And then the network disconnected completely. I had no one to talk to. I was all alone until I opened my computer and I had signal there. I asked my sister, what should I do? Because my battery is running low. My sister is asleep and my computer battery is running low as well. She told me, listen, go outside. Take the things you need for the next 2 weeks. Prepare yourself because it's bad and no one can come. Then I went outside. I walked like this. I was looking for a butcher knife, so I had something to fight against the terrorists with, but I couldn't find it, so I brought like a big spoon to help me to do something against them. I brought the charger to my computer and a bottle of water and something fast I found in the refrigerator. I looked at my sister and I told her again, I love you. This is the end. They're not gonna come. Like our sister told us they're not gonna come and we have nothing to do. And this is it. And then eventually I heard knocks on my door. I was scared to death. I was sure that the terrorists are coming. So I started to write fast what happened to me. Like I wrote 6:30, got into the bomb shelter, 7, left outside to bring something to eat. So if something will happen to us, if they're here, someone can see, my father could see, and my sisters could see what happened to us. So I wrote like 12, knocking on our door. And I filmed it. I filmed everything. So if I'll die, my father will have something to lean on. Then it wasn't the terrorists. It was 2 women around 4 afternoon, taking me and my sister from my house to my older sister's house. I have 2 older sisters. So one of them, which I had connection with her this whole day, was in the north, and then the other one was in my kibbutz. They took me and my sister from 2 separate ways because we had no idea if the terrorists are still there. So if one of us will get injured or killed, then the other one could live. They took us to my older sister's place. Then we stayed there the whole time. And then what happened to my kibbutz started to come clear. In my kibbutz, 30 tourists came onto this white cars that we all know from the TV. 30 tourists, again, 10 peoples of our own, trying to fight them. They spread all over the like the border of our kibbutz. We have a fence all around our kibbutz, so they spread there. Our forces had a fight with them. Eventually, we had 5 more peoples coming. We were able to hold them back. They didn't come into the kibbutz. They only shot on one house, which has been destroyed, and one of our own, Amir Naim, was murdered, was killed, unfortunately, in the attack. And then everything came clear that what I heard was really the gun from far away, tiny stones. And all of the talking outside was from our forces. And then eventually around midnight, we heard I have a lot of family in the kibbutz, and I heard they're starting to get off the kibbutz and go to the desert. We have a family in the desert in Midreshet Ben Gurion. So we started to go after them. My big sister decided, she has a kid and her husband, and me and my little sister, we went there with my whole family. I didn't see my dad. I only saw him a week after. Yeah.
That's incredible, Hila.
Thank you.
We're going to get into your story a little bit more, how you are today. But right now, we'll go on to our next speaker, Rome. I'm sorry we don't see Rome, but Rome is in 11th grade. He lives in Sderot, which is only 1 kilometer from the Gaza Strip. He attends the public school there. Since the beginning of the Second Intifada in October of 2000, the city of Sderot has been under constant attack from rockets from the Gaza Strip, as the whole area was. Rome, please tell us your story of what happened to you and your family on October 7th.
Hey, I'm Rom. I live in Sderot, and I want to start on 6th of October. Me and my family had a dinner in my house. We eat together, we sing and everything. We go to sleep, and then we woke up at 6:30 because all of the alarms. In the family group chat, we got a lot of text from my cousin and my uncle. She told us there are a lot of terrorists in her kibbutz. She live in kibbutz Be'eri. So we start panic. And then we start to lock all the house. We turn off the lights, and we been quiet. Then I heard a lot of gunshots, and it was outside of my house. There was like 5 terrorists, I think, or 4. So we called the police. No one answered us. So I tried to create some vest, and I took 2 knives and tried to defend ourselves, because I've been only with my mom, my girlfriend, and my little brother. My dad was in my grandpa's house. So I felt like it's my responsibility on my family. So we've been quiet. We hide in the shelter, and then we heard a lot of voices. It came from the door, so I go there, and I put a lot of stuff on the door to make the door heavier. So then we go back to the shelter. I lock the door with everything I got, and I hide behind the door with my vest. I don't know if I can call it vest, but that's what it was. And 2 days after the 7th of October, like the 9th of October, we still been in the shelter. I didn't sleep all the time. I check the camera every time, like 24/7. And then 9th of October, I saw 2 terrorists come into my house again. So I called the police, and 40 minutes after I called them, they came. They checked like 2 minutes and go. After 10 minutes, I'm opening the camera and I see the 2 terrorists again. So I called them like 50 times. After 20 minutes, all of the police, soldiers, everything came. They catch one of the terrorists, and one they don't see him. So like 1 hour after they go, I got a video from someone from the police that they catch him. And then it was night, I think, and my mom go to sleep with my brother, and my girlfriend go to sleep 1 hour after they go. I check the camera all the night, and the day after, like the 10th of October, 2 soldiers came to my house to like to rescue us. So we went down and we got information that next to my house there are 6 terrorists wait to kill everyone who gonna run away. And then the soldiers leave us outside. They go to fight with them, and someone just saw us with his car and tell us, come, I'm gonna rescue. He took us outside of the road next to it's a group of soldiers. We wait like 3 hours there with them, and then someone come to take us to my uncle who lives in Tel Aviv. We've been there 3 weeks, and then my father come to see us for the first time after the 7th of October. Like 4 weeks, something like that, like 4 weeks or 2 weeks after the 7th of October, we got a call from someone from the army, and he told us that my uncle and my cousin murdered, because my cousin he was in the Kitat Konenut, which they protect the kibbutz, and my uncle was on his other house, which it's very, very far from all of the mess. But he got a message from my little cousin that someone, like not someone, like 10 terrorists is in his house. So we went to help them, and on the way to the kibbutz, they shoot him in his car, and it burned his body. That's all, I think. Now I'm in Sderot. I came to visit here. It's scary because it's sometimes you hear the bomb in Gaza, and sometimes there are alarms here. But I want to feel my home again and come here to visit here again till I can live here again. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
So Rome, first of all, we're so sorry to hear about your uncle and your cousin. We're going to ask you a few more questions afterwards, but I'd like to, before we go on with Rome's story, introduce Elon to our group. Elon is in 10th grade. He lives on a moshav called Kalpen JCC. He attends the regional high school of Shikma, which is on the kibbutz called Yad Mordechai, which some of you may be familiar with. As Elon has explained to me, the Gaza envelope is 7 kilometers from the border. Kalpen JCC is 7.5 kilometers from the border. And so it's not considered part of the Gaza envelope. But as we know, for rockets, it's immaterial, that half of kilometer difference. And so he feels it just as much as people closer to the border. Elon, why don't you share your story with us now?
Hi. So my story began in a Friday night. I came back from a holiday dinner, and I saw in my way the Nova party, if you know, and my father lives in Kibbutz Zikim. It's in the Gaza envelope, and I should go to my father's house, but I didn't want, so I go to my moshav, to Kalpen JCC. And on 7th of October, I woke up at 6:30. I heard the sirens. This is why I woke up, and I thought another regular military occupation. So after a hour, we start to hear some weird noises. We start to hear it was the smell out from my house is it smells bad, and I know that this is different. And my sister, she lives in Kfar Aza, and the first thing I thought about is about my sister. And Kfar Aza, it's less than a mile from the border, less than a kilometer from the border, and she said that they start to hear gunshots, and she's scary. She's at her apartment with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend called Santiago. He's from Argentina, but he's Jewish. So they met from the big trip in the South America. So at 9:30, they have no internet, and so we can't call to them. Only WhatsApp we can this time. And they said that they hear the terrorists and they're under the window, and they scared. So at this time, my father go fight. He's work at the he work at the police. He's some commander in the police, and he fight in the road this time. And my sister said that the terrorist is under her window, and my father go to her kibbutz. He started to search her from 10 a.m. and he did not find her like 2 hours. At 11, we stopped to hear from my sister. They have no internet at all, and we started to very afraid. My mother, she cried so much, and I was called to the police like 15 times, and they didn't answer. And I don't know what's gonna happen. So it was the scariest moment of my life. And this time also I was at the bomb shelter, like a hour, because we thought they go to my moshav also, but the military stopped them. They not enter to my moshav, and I started to and my father started to search her, and some at 1 p.m. we stopped to hear from my father. So at this time, I thought also my father and my sister or kidnapped or murdered, but in 2, we heard from both of them. my father found her and they rescued her with another two police officers. They rescued her from Faraza, and she shot in her leg, like a shot in her leg and her left hand, like a seven balls, I think, something like that. And they said that she go to the hospital. At this time, we can't go out from my moshav. My mother want to go to visit my sister, but there was terrorists in the road, so we can't go out. After only at 8th of October we can go out. So we waited to hear from her and to hear about the surgery, and then that's it. I think no, sorry, I was I think after she rescued, we start to hear very strange noises. We start to hear also gunshots, and they also told us to go to the bomb shelter for an hour. And I think in 4 p.m. I heard about 3 friends who was at the Zikim beach. They are from my school, and they notified them. And only at 10th of October we heard about their murder. 3 of them. Their names was Tal, and Nadav, and Or. They all 12th grade. So one of them is very close to my moshav. They go to fishing in the sea, and they murdered. So I want also to say a few words about my friend, my best friend. Is
Before
neighbor
you
of
do
mine.
that, Alon,
Yes.
we're gonna get
Yes.
to that, I promise.
Okay.
I didn't forget.
So okay. So this is my story.
So let me just ask you so that I know that it's clear. So you were in your home from October 7th to October 8th. You couldn't leave to see your sister until the next day.
Yes.
Tell me how you felt during that time that you were waiting there. What was going through your mind as things were going on?
I not thought about it so much because I focused to help to my mother. I almost called to an ambulance because she crying and she not move it in some time. So I not mind so much. I not thought about things so much, and I only thought about how I can found my sister. This is all I thought.
And where was your other sister?
My other sister, she at the army. She's fighters, but her base is in Zikim. But at Saturday, 7th of October, she won't be at the base because they go to the Johada, Somalia. So don't want she not have been in the base. So this is a very good luck.
That's what it was. It was luck, right?
Yes.
So let me just explain to our audience about Zikim. Zikim is a kibbutz that shares a border with Netiv HaSarah, which a lot in our community have heard about. Netiv HaSarah shares a wall with Gaza. So Zikim is almost as close as you can get to the Gaza Strip, just to explain the proximity for everybody. Hila, let's go back to you for a second. So since you left your kibbutz and when you went to your family in the South, tell us where I know you moved around quite a bit. I know you moved around together with your kibbutz as a whole. Tell us some of the moves that you've been through in the last 4 months and how it's been for you.
Okay, so from my kibbutz, we left to Midrashet Ben Gurion. I stayed there with a lot of my family, like it was like very tight in there. We were there for about 2 weeks. And then I moved on to the north. I was with my mom's side of the family for around a week. Then eventually the kibbutz told us that we're moving to Mitzpe Ramon as a community. Then we moved here. I'm still in Mitzpe Ramon right now. It's hard to move around so many times. Like every time we move, I have to rebuild my life and my routine all over again. So I was like, I didn't want to move to Mitzpe Ramon at the beginning. I was telling to my father, like, don't do this to me, please. I'm starting to build a life, and then like here I can't go back there right now. It was a mess, but then eventually we came here, and now we're planning to move to Kiryat Gat as a kibbutz. So it's very confusing. We can't go back to Erez, my kibbutz, as a community. So it's hard for me, but I'm dealing with it. Okay, I think like I'm trying to stay positive and be thankful for staying alive.
So are you attending school in Mitzpe Ramon now?
I'm going once in a while, only to wake up in the morning and to say I was in school, because in my school they check if you were present that day, then they will give you extra points of your test in history or something like that. Then I'm going once in a while because I want to get good grades, but it's not really school. It's like summer camp. So I'm going there, but it's not school.
So also to share a little side note with our audience here, Eli is a very motivated student, an excellent student, and had been for the years and days before October 7th. So all this moving around has affected that motivation.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Rom, what is happening with you in terms of school? You said that you're back in Sderot, but just for a visit now, right? So tell us where you were and how much moving around you did.
Oh, okay. I'm now in Sderot for 3 days. I came to visit. I'm like one in a month. I'm coming here. All of my class are in Elat right now, and I'm next to Tel Aviv. I'm in Gan Tikva right now, so I joined to a school there in Gan Tikva, but I need to study in Zoom because my school like is learning in Elat, and some of them on Zoom, and I need to mix it with Zoom and school in Gan Tikva, and sometimes I take a flight to Elat to study there, and like I don't know where to put my head because sometimes I need to study in Gan Tikva, sometimes in Tel Aviv, sometimes in Elat, sometimes in Zoom, and you get confused all of the time for what you're gonna do. Like now I'm in Sderot. Next week I need to be in Elat. In 2 weeks from now I need to be in Gan Tikva, and I don't know what is gonna happen after that. And they always talking, come back to Sderot. We're gonna open school here again, and you never know what you're gonna really do. You don't know what is the plan and all of that.
11th grade is a really big year in terms of schooling. So you're taking what's called Bagrut exams, which is the equivalent of our Regents or our SAT exams. So how is that working for you, Rom? And Hila, I'm going to ask you the same thing. How are you able to take these standardized exams without having a formal school going on?
It's really hard, really, really hard. But at the end of the day, I need to do this exam and to be the great. But I can't tell you that it's easy on me and all of that. I know how to study. I know how to do everything perfectly, but right now in this situation, it's very, very difficult. In these conditions, you can't just study like a normally student and then get your grades. I need to study from, I don't know from where, like sometimes in school, sometimes in phone, sometimes in computer, and I need to get the best exams. It's really difficult. Last week I did my first bagrut. I actually got a good
A good grade? That's
a good
excellent.
grade,
Unbelievable.
but it's very hard. It's very difficult.
So first of all, congratulations on your first grade on your Bogrut. So really,
Thank you.
that's to your credit of being able to study the way you are with such turmoil. Hila, what's going on with you with your Bogrut exams?
So for us it's a bit different. I have a lesson that I go to Tel Aviv every 2 weeks. I need to take public transportation, and then I go to Tel Aviv to do a lesson. But then most of my subjects, we have bagruyot in the center. So we go there, we take the test or the whatever we have to do. We submit it, and then we go back to our original schools. So it's more of a seminar than a test.
Okay. And so I also know where Mitzpeh Ramon is. It's in the middle. It's gorgeous down there, but it's in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you getting there? You say you take public transportation, but there's no train.
I'm taking the bus from Mitzpeh Ramon to Be'er Sheva. Then I'm taking the train from Be'er Sheva to, let's say, Tel Aviv. Then I'm taking the bus from Tel Aviv to whenever I want to go, and then backwards.
And how long does each way take you?
3 hours, 3.5. It's very fun to be in Mitzpeh Ramon.
Hila, so your kibbutz is there. Do you have other kibbutzim that were also relocated there?
Tzelim, but they're doing nothing here. They got the best hotel and they shouldn't be here. So we're not connecting with them in any kind of way. We had some people from Sderot at the beginning, like a few. Then we had talked with them on the concerts and the events we had at the beginning of the war. But during time, only my kibbutz stayed here.
So when was the last time, or how often do you see your friends who are not from your kibbutz, let's say your school friends?
Not often. I recently saw them a week ago from something like from school, but it's very hard for us to find the right time or place to meet because each one of my friends lives in a whole different place, one in the north, then one in Herzliya, and very different places than what we used to. So I see them twice in a month in a good case, like in a good month.
Alon, you're also in a regional high school. How often do you see your friends? Do you get together? Are people around?
So my school is separate. My moshav is, we are staying in the moshav, and also the moshavim near to us. The settlements in Gaza envelope is not in their settlements. So my school is in Kiryat Malachi. It's 50 minutes drive from my moshav, and I go there with all the settlements that they stay in their house. So, and we have another school for Netiv Asara in Tel Aviv, and another school in the south in Kibbutz Magan Michael. It's near Netanya, or near Caesarea. And my friends, they are from the kibbutzim in Gaza envelope, in Yad Mordechai, Karmia, Gvaram, Zikim. They go there to study. And it's different, and I didn't saw my friends like a month. Sometimes my school do some things, but most of the time I don't see them.
So you all three of you have had to get used to completely different ways of going to school, learning, studying, and seeing friends.
Yes.
So each of you have had a lot to process since October 7th. You each had your own experience. Does anyone want to share with us, how are you dealing with it? How are you coping? How have you processed? Do you talk about it with your other friends? Who wants to answer that question? Before I call up you. Hila.
So for me, I feel like it's 5 stages of grief, like to deal with that day. Like at the beginning, it was a big denial. Like I had no idea what's gonna happen with me. I wasn't allowed to talk about it with my family. We all tried to move on. Then, like it changed all the time. So now I'm a little bit angry of everything like that happened back there, and I'm trying to stay focused on the positive side of, if I can call it a positive side, but like it's very frustrating to know that I have nothing to do and I had nothing to do. So it's going through my mind a lot, also thinking about, like, from my class, there was one boy who got murdered with his whole family. His name was Jonathan Kutz. So he went to another school and I didn't see him for many years, but just thinking about like how he died during that time, and I'm here and alive and doing my bagruyot, it just keeps holding me back there. So it's like 5 stages of grief.
You recognize that. That's, yeah, different stages. Rom, how are you coping with what you went through, your family is going through? Have you had a chance to process, to think about it all?
Actually, I'm not thinking about anything because it scared me to think about what I've been through. So I put it in the side. My mom always tell me you need to talk with someone about it, and I tell her no, I don't want to do anything about that. I just want my silence and let the time do what he can do. I'm trying to live like it's not happened, but you can't hide it. I'm trying to play video games with friends, study, train, and all of that, but it's always not gonna feel like it used to be before, because like I love to exercise and being in the gym, but I always used to go with my cousin, and now when he got murdered, all of the time I go into the gym, I thinking about that, and you never gonna feel like before. Like I'm going to the gym and I feel it. I go to study and I feel it. I go to sleep and I feel it. It's every time catching me. So I'm trying to do my best.
Sounds like you're working very hard at that. That's for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Alon, tell us how you're doing and how your sister is right now.
So my sister, she is at the hospital in Ra'anana. She now recovery from her from what happened. So last week she got a new surgery. This is the 3 of we don't know, and it's very hard to her, and she dreaming a lot in the night, and she and her boyfriend. It's very hard to them to sleep at the night and to talk about it, but they will be okay. My sister, she's strong, and I'm very proud of her.
How often do you see your sister?
So at the beginning, I saw her every day at the first 2 months. And now, because of the school, I had to go, and I not go to the school at Wednesday and Thursday. And this time I go to my sister to visit her and to be with her, and and I feel very comfortable to go to her.
And the first 2 months, you saw her every day because you were sleeping at the hospital, correct?
Yes, I slept at the hospital, and we also have a apartment at Ranana. Some good people donate us the apartment, and I sleep, and after we got the apartment, I sleep there.
You're an
Yeah.
amazing brother.
Thank
Amazing
you.
brother. So this next question, I have 2 more questions for you guys. So this next question is a little bit more relevant to Hila and Rome. So you guys are being drafted into the military service, into the IDF in about 1.5 years. How does that fit with you right now? What are you thinking about? Did you have thoughts about what you wanted to do before October 7th? How has that changed since October 7th? Rome, why don't you answer that question first?
Like you know my story, I always used to say that I want to be in Mr. Arvin, like the undercover unit. And it's not changed. It's actually got stronger. I want to keep serve the country. I want to keep save people, protect civilians people. And it's not gonna change never. More than ever right now, after what all of been through, I want it so much. And in 1 year, 2 years, you're gonna see me right there.
That's amazing, Rome. Hila, do you think about it?
Yeah, I do. I wanted to be a fighter before for what they are like allowing 2 girls do. For me as well, it hasn't changed. It's got stronger as well because I feel like after what personally I've been through in my community and my area has been through, I felt the need in the IDF and why I should join and serve there. Like, it's a need. I can't give up on saving civilians like me on whatever trouble we will get into, because with our country will probably happen. So I still want to be a fighter in the army one day.
I'm sure you'll make it. Wow. Okay, one last question for you guys, because we're getting close to the end of our time. Rome, what will it take for you? I know you're just visiting Sderot. So what will it take for you to move back to Sderot? What needs to happen?
I just need I need to protect, like someone tell me that it's safe to be here, and not just say, just I need to see, like I don't believe the word right now, because every time they say it's okay, it's only bomb, it's only alarm, it's gonna be fine, and now we are in a very opposite situation. So I need the safety back. It's not the safety like it was before, because bomb it's not safety. I need to really feel like it's safe to be in my home. That's all. I just need safe to feel
Safety
safe.
and security, yeah. Hila, what about you? What will it take for you to go back to the kibbutz? Or do you see yourself going back to your kibbutz?
I see myself going back to the kibbutz. I have a little family there. Like I've lived there for my whole life. Sorry, but it's scary. Like the biggest tunnel was just found like 200 meters next to the kibbutz. And a lot of things are very uncertain at this point. So I feel like I need proofs. I can't keep on with only the talking stage. Like they keep telling us it's okay. You chose to live there. It's a few bombs, and we have been like numb during those years. And I feel like now we have woken up after the October 7th, and I need like proof. Like this is Hamas. This is what's going on. This is Israel. This is what's going on. You get to choose if you want to live there or not. And in the end of the war, in the bottom line, this is what you have, like the truth, no lying, no making the reality look prettier. This is what you have, and I'll get to choose if I want to live there or not. But I need the truth now.
Doesn't sound like too much to ask for. We're going to end with one last question for Alon. Alon, why don't you tell us now about your friend and what happened?
So, my best friend, he's at the same age of mine. He is my neighbor, and his grandpa lives in near lives in sorry Niroz, yes, he's in Niroz, and he kidnapped to Gaza, and he's still there, alive, for what we heard. And I want to ask your help to say to remind it to the whole world, to remind her that there is a person, Jewish people who got kidnapped to only for being Jewish, and we don't know what's going to happen to with him. And his grandma, her name is Tammy. Her name is Tammy Metzger. His grandpa called Yoram Metzger. She got released, and she said about the horrible things that she been go through. And last 2 weeks they not celebrate. It was to be her marriage day, but she celebrated alone. So I want your help to remind the world.
Absolutely. Alon, somebody asked for the grandfather's Hebrew name. So if you can get that for me, we will share it. Do you know his Hebrew name?
Hebrew name?
His name.
What? His name? Yoram Metzger.
Okay. Thank you for that, because that is something that is utmost, and that is shows another piece of that, the picture of what's going on. You guys are amazing. You guys are so brave and so courageous for sharing your stories. And I personally thank you guys. You know how much I care about you and love you. And even more so, I have such tremendous respect for you. At this point, I want to thank everybody. I'm going to turn it over to Debbie. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Elana. Thank you, Hila, Alon, and Rom. I want to read some comments. They're coming in fast and furious, so I apologize if I don't get to everybody. First of all, Hila, you have regards from your New Jersey parents, Davy and Amanda. They're watching. They heard everything. They said they're very proud of you and they're sending you lots of love. Somebody who had to sign off a little bit early said they are beyond strong, resilient, and brave individuals, unbelievable optimism, and will be a true inspiration to us all. Somebody else wrote in, your story and strength is unbelievable. How can the Jewish community here in the United States even help support you, your families, and Israel in general? Our hearts are with you every minute of every day. Not so much of a question, but a comment. As a fellow Jew, these 3 young adults remind me of how strong and resilient the peoplehood is in Israel. They should be very, very proud. I know I'm jumping around here. Thank you for sharing your heartbreaking stories with us. You are each so brave to be willing to share with us what it was like for you all. As a mother in America, I want you to know we are not going to stop fighting for you and all there in Israel and our Jewish students and families here too. You are not alone. All of our worlds changed on the 10th, on the 7th of October. We love you and we are with you. The Hebrew name, I saw that. I'm gonna give another quick glance. There were a lot. Oh, Amy said, for Hila, it's amazing that Hila had the wherewithal to document a diary, in a diary, the chronological order of the terrorist events. There are more, and I'll probably send them to you in an email because you should see them. This has been an incredible program. I can't thank you enough, Elana, for making this happen. Hila, wonderful seeing you again. Alone, wonderful seeing you again. And I look forward to playing guitar and piano with you again soon. And Rome, it was a pleasure hearing you. I'm sorry we didn't get to see you. Thank you all. Thank you everybody who participated today. And I'm Yisrael Chai.
I'm Yisrael Chai.